Do you also need to write data to an Excel file using Python? So for this task, this is all the code required to create a professional Excel report. In the next few minutes in this tutorial, we are going to show you how this code works, some common mistakes to avoid, and some useful tricks every Python developer should know. Now, writing data to Excel is one of the most common automation tasks in Python. So whether you are generating reports or exporting API data or saving analysis result, Excel files are everywhere, and let's see how to create them using Python. A basic requirement for this task is Pandas and OpenPyXL package. So we will going to use Pandas to work with tabular data and OpenPyXL to create modern Excel files. Now we have already covered how to install Pandas and OpenPyXL in our previous tutorial. If you have missed that previous tutorial, we can simply install Pandas and OpenPyXL using this pip command, pip install pandas space, then we need to write the package which is OpenPyXL. So once you hit this command, it will automatically install both the packages. Now I have already installed this. I can verify the installation using the pip freeze command. So here you can see I have both the packages, Pandas and OpenPyXL. Now let's jump to our code part, where first we need to import the Pandas library. Import Pandas, and I am going to give an alias name as PD. Now before we write data to Excel, we need to create a data frame. And you can think of a data frame as a spreadsheet inside Python. So how we are going to do this? We have imported the Pandas library. Next we are going to define our data. Now for data, I have already have a dummy data. I'm going to use this dummy data. Let me show you this in the Python code. So I have this dictionary where I have employee names as a list, John, Sarah, Mike, and their salaries. Now employee here is a column representation, and John, Sarah, Mike are the column values, and sales is another column where these integer values represents the sales data. And one thing to note down here is employee here is string type data and sales is a integer type data. Next, from this data we are going to create a data frame. So I will write df as a variable name for the data frame, then pd.dataframe, and in the data frame method I am going to pass data. So using the data frame method, we are creating a data frame in Python. Next, to create an Excel file, we need to use the toExcel method. What this toExcel method will do, it will export the data frame to an Excel file. So see how we can do this. We need to write df dot, we are going to use the data frame, and we are going to use to_excel. And inside this method, the very first parameter I need to define is the file name. So let me name the file as sales report .xlsx, and I need to give another argument which is index, and I am going to keep the index value as false. Now here setting index value false prevents Pandas from creating an extra index column. Now if you are thinking why this index equal to false really matters, one common beginner mistake is forgetting this index equal to false. This creates unnecessary column that usually isn't needed in the report. This will create an index column basically, and if we keep this value as false, it will skip creating that index column. Now let's quickly run this code. So I will write python app.py to run this file. Once this code runs successfully, we can see one sales_report file is created. If I open this, you can see a tabular data where we have employee and sales column with values. Now in real applications, your data often comes from APIs, databases, or CSV files. Let's see another example. So I will open the dummy data where I have another format of data, and let's replace this data with employees variable, and here I am going to define a list. So here, if you are extracting data from API, you might not be extracting it in dictionary, you might be extracting it something like this, where you have a list where list consists of dictionary items where each dictionary has its column and value. For example, here employee is Emma, sales is 18,000. Similarly, we have employees David, sales is 9,000. So like this. So how we can create an Excel from this data? Again, this is also very straightforward. We need to first create a data frame. So instead of data, I will write here as employees, and instead of sales report, let's make this Excel file as employees. And again, I'm going to keep the index value as false. Now let's again run this file. Once our code runs successfully, we can see another employees.excel file is created, and here you can see we got our data. Now here one thing that we can observe is the export process remains the exactly same. Now next, let's look at some of the best practices, where the very first best practice is to always use meaningful file names. We should always try to use index value as false unless you specifically need row number. We should always separate data preparation from export logic, and at last we should always try to validate your data frame before generating or exporting reports. So today, through this video, we have learned how to create Excel files in Python using pandas, export data frames, and how we can avoid some common mistakes. These few commands can save hours of manual report creation. Now, if you found this tutorial useful, you can subscribe for more practical Python tutorials. You can hit that like button, and if you have any suggestion, you can pin down that suggestion in the comment box, or you can also email us at the given email ID. Thank you so much for watching this video. We will meet you in the next one.